Hello students, how many of you are online? Just tell me. Is I am audible to all of you? Hello everyone. Yes, very good evening, Harish. Is I am audible to all of you? Yes, just tell me. Is I am audible to all of you? Okay, Harish. Yes, Harish, very good evening. Yes, what about the others? Just tell me fastly. What about the others? Good evening, everyone. Yes, how are you? Yes, Harish, how are you, beta? Good. Okay, Harish. And what about the others? Just tell me. Harish, are you comfortable in Hindi? Just tell me. How many of you are comfortable in Hindi so that we can proceed our lecture in Hindi today? Just tell me. Yes, fastly. Or if you have any problem, then we can proceed in English also. Okay. So Harish, are you okay? You are comfortable in English. Okay, Harish. Now in the previous lecture of construction material and management, we had studied the various types of tests for the workability of the concrete. Okay, to determine the workability of the concrete, we had understand one test whose name is slump cone test. Is it or not? Just tell me. Yes, fastly. We know that what is workability? Workability is the ease with which a concrete can be batched, mixed, transported, placed. That is known as workability of concrete. And to determine the workability of the concrete, we had studied one test whose name is slump cone test, in which we had filled the concrete in 3 layers with 25 times of tamping with the help of tamping rod. And after the third layer filling, we will just finish that surface with the trowel, and we will slowly raise the slump cone apparatus. Now what will happen if the concrete will fall down? Then we will measure the height which will be fallen down with the help of the tamping rod. Now that height which is fallen down from the top, that height is known as, or that reduction in height from the top is known as the slump value. Okay, clear? Just tell me, is it clear to you? That is the reduction of the height of the concrete is known as the slump value from the top. Okay. Yes, Anil, very good evening, beta. How are you? Okay, Harish. Yes, Anil, how are you, beta? Just tell me. Fine, okay, Anil. All of you are not watching the IPL, that is Indian Premier League. Fastly. Yes. Okay. Now we are more focused towards the gate examination. That's why we are not watching the IPL. Okay. And all those students who are preparing for the gate, I just want to give one message to you that just don't see the IPL matches right now, because it will affect your gate score drastically. Okay. If you're continuously watching the IPL matches during this whole duration, then it will affect your performance and your marks will reduced up to 20 marks. Okay, up to 20 marks. So if you will just wasting your time to watch the IPL matches, it will just reduce your gate marks or the gate performance this year. So just take care. IPL is coming every year, but your preparation is more focused toward the gate examination this year. So just accelerate your performance and it will give you very high marks in your gate examination. And this year the IIT Bombay is preparing the paper for the gate examination. So just take care that you have to study very carefully, and you have to do the various types of test series to obtain very good marks in your gate examination. Okay. So for all these operations, you will require time. And what time you will left? Only the 12 to 14 hours you will be left in a day, because 6 hours will be wasted in the sleeping, 1 to 2 hours for our lectures. Similarly, almost 2 to 4 hours for the eating of food or something like that. Okay. So only 12 to 14 hours will be remaining from the 24 hours. So just devote that time for the preparation. Clear? Now we are going towards the next test, that is known as compaction factor test. Now anybody of you had performed this test, that is the compaction factor test? Just tell me. Anybody of you had performed this test in your colleges? Okay, Anil. Yes, fastly. Anybody of you had performed this test? Okay, Anil. Anil, what we had or what you had done in this test? Just tell me. What you had performed in this test? Just tell me. What is the procedure of compaction factor? Okay, Harish. Harish, what is the procedure for the determination of compaction factor value? Just tell me. Yes, Harish. Yes, fastly. Yes, fastly. What is the procedure of determining the compaction factor of any concrete? Just tell me fastly. No idea? Just tell me. No idea? We pour concrete in machine. Which type of machine, Anil? Which type of machine, beta? Yes, Harish. Just tell me the procedure, na beta. Just tell me the procedure. Just tell me the procedure. Okay, we are removing. Open. Okay. Now, in this compaction factor test, if you had performed this test, then it will consist an apparatus just like this. Is it or not? Which is having two hopper bottoms and is having one cylindrical mold. Is it or not? Yes, just tell me. Okay. Now, the equipment is just like this. That is the two hopper bottoms, which is shown here also. That is the two hopper bottoms. And one cylindrical mold which is shown here. Now this type of test is generally suitable for low workable concrete. Okay, it means that those concrete in which the water cement ratio is very less, that concrete is known as low workable concrete. Now if we have to do the workability test on that concrete, then we have to perform the compaction factor test. Okay, now in compaction factor test, what we will generally do, we will fill the concrete in this mold. Okay, now is there tamping will be done in this concrete or not? Just tell me, is there tamping will be done in this concrete or not? Fastly. Yes, when we fill the concrete in the first hopper bottom, then can we apply the tamping by the help of tamping rod? Yes, very good Anil, very good beta, very good. Yes Harish, can we provide the 25 blows to that concrete with the help of tamping rod in the first hopper? Just tell me beta, fastly. Yes Harish. Okay, now in this test we are just filling the concrete in the first hopper bottom without any tamping with the help of tamping rod. We are not compacting the concrete in the first hopper. Okay, now when we fill the concrete in the first hopper bottom, then what we will do, we will just open this gate here. This is the gate which is shown here, it is fixed to this portion. Okay, when we just open this gate, what will happen, all the concrete will fallen down from the top hopper to the bottom hopper, and when this all concrete will be filled in this hopper bottom, we again just open this gate and we will allow the concrete to fall from the second hopper to the bottom cylinder. Now during the falling of the concrete, the compaction process will takes place. Okay, the compaction due to the effect of gravity will takes place in that concrete, and when the third cylindrical mold is completely filled with the concrete, we will just flush out the extra concrete which is at the top of the mold, and we will level the mold. Now what we will do, we will take the weight of this mold and we will just say that this weight is W1. Okay, this weight is W1. Now what we will do after taking the weight of W1, that is the self compacted concrete, what we will do after that, just tell me what we will do just after that. Firstly, yes, yes, firstly, yes, Anil, Harish, yes. Then again, we will just empty this whole cylindrical mold and we will just clean this cylindrical mold, and again we will take this cylindrical mold here and we will fill this cylindrical mold in the three layers of concrete, and each layer is tamped 25 times with the help of tamping rod. Okay, we will again fill this cylindrical mold with the help of concrete in three layers, and each layer is subjected to 25 times of tamping with the help of tamping rod. During this process, the concrete will be compacted manually. Now we will take the weight of that concrete, let it be W2. Let it be W2. Now W1 is the weight of compacted concrete due to the gravity, and W2 is the weight of compacted concrete due to the manual tamping. Is it or not? Just tell me. Is it or not? Yes, Anil. Anil, Harish, is it or not? Now, after finding the W1 and W2, what we will do, we will just take the ratio. We will just take the ratio of W2 upon W2. Now, here they had taken the W1 is the empty weight of cylinder, W2 is the weight of partially compacted concrete due to the gravity, and W3 is the weight of fully compacted concrete due to the damping. Now, what we had studied? We had studied that the W1 is the weight of the compacted concrete due to gravity, and W2 is the weight of the compacted concrete due to manual damping. So if we have to find the compaction factor, then it will be equals to what? It will be equals to W1 upon W2. That is the weight of compacted concrete due to gravity and weight of compacted concrete due to manual damping. Now, if we have to find the compaction factor as per this formula, then it will be equals to what? That is the weight of cylinder plus compacted concrete due to gravity, and this is the weight of empty cylinder. Now if we will just subtract these values, then we will have the weight of compacted concrete due to gravity only. So this is the weight of compacted concrete due to gravity only, and this is the weight of compacted concrete due to manual damping. Is it or not? So both the formulas are same, but the pattern of writing the formula is different. Okay. Now it is clear to all of you or not? Just tell me. If it is not clear to you, then I have to explain it once again. Okay. If anyone wants to repeat this whole test again, just let me know in the chat box. Okay. Just let me know in the chat box. Yes, Anil. Okay, Harish. Now we will have some values, that is the recommended values as per the IS code. So for very low workable concrete, we had studied the slump value in our previous lecture, that is generally ranging between 0 to 25 mm, and its compaction factor value will be equals to 0.78. That is the very low workable concrete. Now where we will use this type of concrete? For making of the road. Okay, we will use that type of concrete. Okay, now for low workable concrete, the slump value generally lies in between 25 to 50 mm. Okay, and its compaction factor value will be equals to 0.85. That is on a slightly higher side. Now this type of concrete is generally used for the foundation works with light reinforcement. Okay. Now for medium workable concrete, the slump value generally ranges in between 50 to 100, and the compaction factor value will be equals to nothing but the 0.92. Now this type of concrete is generally used for the making of the slabs, as well as also used for the heavily reinforced section, that is for beams, columns, etc. Okay. Now, the last one is the high workable concrete. For high workable concrete, the slump value will ranges in between 100 to 175 mm, and the compaction factor value will be equals to 0.95. Now, this is generally required when we have to just apply the concrete without any compaction. Now, due to this high degree of workability, the concrete will compact itself automatically. Okay, we don't need to compact it manually or by providing the compaction with the help of any machine. So if we want the concrete to be self compacted, then it should be highly workable concrete. Okay, clear to all of you? Just tell me. Yes, is it clear to all of you? Fastly. Okay, Nishant Arya. Okay, Anil. Now, had you ever studied or performed VB consistometer test? Just tell me. Have have you ever performed this test in your colleges or any other? Just tell me. Had you ever performed this type of test? Yes, Nishant. Nishant, what will be the procedure for the VB consistometer test? Just tell me. What will be the procedure for the VB consistometer test? Yes, Nishant, Harish, Anil. What is the procedure for performing the VB consistometer test? Just tell me. Yes, fastly. Just tell me what will be the procedure for performing the not remember, sir. Okay, Anil. What about the other? We done in lab. Okay, Anil. What about the others? Nishan. Concrete is mixed and put in cylinder. Okay. Vibrations are taking the concrete. Okay. Only this type of procedure is done. Harish, just tell me. Now, this type of method is generally suitable for very low workable concrete. Okay. Very low workable concrete. Now, slump cone is generally performed for the high or medium workable concrete. Compaction factor is generally used for the low workable concrete, and for very low workable concrete that is of the stiff range, that type of concrete we will use VB consistometer test for determining the workability of that concrete. Now, this type of test generally contains the equipment just like this. Okay, all of you had seen this type of equipment in your colleges. Okay, is it or not? Fastly. Yes, Nishant. Now, this is a cylindrical mold which is placed on a vibrating machine. This is a vibrating machine, and here we will just clamp this cylindrical mold with the help of these screws. Now, what we will do, we will just place this cylindrical mold over this vibrating machine, and we will just tight these clamps. Now, in this cylindrical mold, we will place a slump cone. Okay, we will just place a slump cone inside this whole apparatus. Now, over this slump cone, we will just provide a equipment just like this for filling the concrete in this slump cone. Yes, yes, Harish, correct. Now, what we will do, we will just fill the concrete in this slump cone in 3 layers, and each layer is subjected to 25 strokes with the help of tamping rod. Okay. Now, after 25 strokes in all the layers, and when we fill this slump cone completely over the top, then what we will do, we will just lift that slump cone. We will just lift that slump cone, and we will allow the concrete to settle down. Now, the reduction in the height of the concrete is the slump value, which we had already studied in the slump cone test. Now, what we will do, after lifting this mold, that is the slump cone, we will just start this machine. Okay, we will just start this vibrating machine, and what will happen, the change in the shape of concrete will take place. Now, slowly and slowly, all the slump cone shaped concrete will disperse in that cylindrical mold, and when the cylindrical mold is completely leveled with that concrete, at that time we will stop the vibrating machine, and we will record that time during which the concrete will change its shape from the slump cone to the complete shape of the cylinder. Now that time is known as VB time. Now, how many of you get the clear idea about the VB time? Just tell me, otherwise I have to explain it once again. Just tell me. Yes, fastly. Yes, fastly. How many of you had understand this test? Otherwise I have to explain it once again. Just tell me fastly. Understand. Okay, Harish. What about the others? Just tell me. Yes, fastly. Fastly. Okay, Anil. Got it. Now we had determined the VB time. Now here it is clearly written as for very dry concrete. It means that for low workable concrete, if the concrete is dry, then it is known as low workable concrete, or we can say that if it is very dry, then it is very low workable concrete. So if the concrete is very low workable, then the time required will be high or less. Just tell me, if the concrete is stiff, it is not workable, then the time required to change its shape from the slump cone to the cylindrical shape, is it more or less? Just tell me. If the concrete is stiff or very low workable, then the time required for changing its shape will be high or low. Fastly, just tell me. Yes, fastly. Anil, high. Or we can say that the time will be very high because the concrete is having very less water. Okay, and if the concrete is having very less water, then the time required for changing its shape will be very high. So for very low workable concrete, the VB time will be very high in the range of 15 to 20 seconds. Okay, in the range of 15 to 20 seconds. No, 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 Harish. It is not semi-fluid. Okay, it is almost dry concrete. Okay, it is almost dry concrete, not semi-fluid. Okay, it is almost dry concrete. So the time required for changing its shape will be very high, that is in the range of 15 to 20 seconds. Now for dry concrete, or we can say that for low workable concrete, very low workable concrete, the time will be 15 to 20 seconds. Now for low workable concrete, that generally the time will be equals to 7 to 10 seconds. Okay, clear, Harish? Now, if the concrete is plastic, if the concrete is plastic, it means that it will have workability greater than the dry concrete. So, if it is high, on a larger side, or if its workability will be on larger side as compared to dry concrete, then time required will be very less. So, the time required in second will be equals to 4 to 5 seconds for plastic concrete. We can say that the semi-fluid is having the water cement ratio in the range of, we can say that it is having the water cement ratio in the range of 0.6 to 0.7. Okay, 0.6 to 0.7. Now for plastic concrete, it will generally have the water cement ratio in the range of 0.5 to 0.6. Now for dry concrete, it will have the water cement ratio in the range of 0 0.4, or we can set it in between 0.4 to 0.5, and for very dry concrete it will have water cement ratio of less than 0.4. Okay, so as the water cement ratio is increasing, its workability will also increase and the time required for changing its shape will be less. Clear? Clear, Harish? I hope that I had cleared your doubt. Is it or not? Yes, Harish, fastly. Okay, okay, Harish. Now for semi-fluid concrete, that is of the range of almost flowing concrete, it is known as semi-fluid or highly workable concrete. So its workability or its VB time is very less, in the range of 2 to 3 seconds. It means that when you just start the machine, when you just start the vibrating machine, it will suddenly change its shape from the slump cone to the cylindrical shape. Okay, that type of concrete is known as highly workable concrete. Okay, so that is the VB time in seconds. Now we will study compressive strength test of concrete. Now how many of you had performed the compressive strength test, that is also known as cube test of concrete? Just tell me, how many of you had performed? An example? Yes. Now how can we differentiate the concrete in the different level? Now the concrete which is used for the slab casting. Okay, yes, Harish. If we will use the concrete for the slab casting, then it will be a very high workable concrete, because we have to fill each and every corner of the slab with the help of concrete. But if we want to fill the column, if we want to fill the column with the help of concrete, then that concrete will be less workable, because we have to remove the formwork within 1 day. So we want low workable concrete, so that it will set very fastly, and if it will set within 24 hours, then we will be able to remove the formwork. Okay, Harish, just tell me, just tell me, beta. Okay, Harish. Now how many of you had performed the compressive strength test of concrete? Yes, Nishant, you had performed. Okay, Anil, you had performed. Now what is the procedure of performing this test? Just tell me, what is the procedure of performing this test, that is known as compressive strength test? Yes, firstly, what is the procedure of performing this test? If we have to perform the compressive strength test of concrete, then what is the procedure of performing the test? Just tell me. Yes, firstly. I hope that all of you had performed this step because it is a basic test for the concrete which we had generally done in our colleges. Okay. Yes, by using UTM, definitely by using UTM. Now in this test, what we generally prepare, we prepare a cube of size 15 centimeter into 15 centimeter into 15 centimeter. Is it or not? Just tell me. Is it or not? We had yes, we had prepared a cube of concrete whose size is 15 centimeter into 15 centimeter into 15 centimeter, and after preparing that cube we will just place that cube in the water tank for curing purpose. Okay, for curing purpose. Now after 7 days, 14 days, 21 days and 28 days of curing. Okay, after 7 days, 14 days, 21 days and 28 days of curing, we will just take that concrete cube and we will just place that cube in the compression testing machine or in the universal testing machine, that is known as UTM. Now we will apply the loading at a very slow rate. Okay, at a very slow rate. Now what is the rate of applying the load? Just tell me. Is there anyone who has the knowledge of the rate of applying the load? Just tell me. Fastly, fastly. Yes, just tell me fastly. No, Nishan, definitely not. We are applying the load at the rate of 140 Newton. Okay, we are just applying the load gradually to the concrete at the rate of 140 Newton. Okay, now we are applying the load at the rate of 140 Newton. Now, at that load in which there is a crack that will develop in that concrete, and when the needle of the UTM just stop, we will record that reading, that is the load which the concrete cube had beared. Okay, now we will take that load and we will just divide that load with the surface area on which the load is applied. Now the surface area will be equals to what? It will be equals to 15 centimeter into 15 centimeters. So when we just divide the load at which the concrete is filled by the surface area of that cube, we will be able to determine the compressive strength of that concrete. Is it or not? Just tell me, is it or not? At that load at which the concrete will fail, we will just record that reading and we will just divide that load with the help of the surface area, that is 15 centimeter into 15 centimeter, and we will get the compressive strength of that concrete. Is it or not? Fastly, is it or not? Yes. Okay, that's why I had written here, the formula, that is compressive strength will be equals to load divided by the cross sectional area, and cross sectional area will always remains as 15 centimeter into 15 centimeter, because we are preparing always the cube of 15 into 15 into 15. Okay. Yes, Anil. Except Anil, now how many of you get a clear idea about how to perform the compressive strength test in your laboratory? Just tell me. Yes, fastly. Just tell me. Except Anil, how many of you get the idea about how we can perform the compressive strength test in our laboratory or at the site or any other thing? Just tell me. Now that is the one of the basic tests which is always performed before any batch of concrete. Before any batch of concrete, firstly we have to get the strength of that mix. Okay, first we have to determine the strength of that mix. If its strength will correspond to that concrete which is required, then we will just take that proportion of cement, sand and coarse aggregate, and we will prepare the concrete in large amount. But if it will fail, then we will not take that proportion and we have to again do the mixed design of that concrete. Clear? So generally we will perform the compressive strength test to determine the compressive strength of the concrete, that is the minimum compressive strength of that batch of concrete. Is it or not? Yes, fastly. Is it or not? How many of you had visited on any of the RMC plant, that is known as ready mix concrete plant? Yes. How many of you had visited any RMC plant, that is ready mix concrete plant? Just tell me. That is of Prism or Ultratech or any other. Okay, Nishant, you had visited. What about the others? ACC Mohali. Okay, Nishant. What about the others? Now, at that plant, okay, okay, Harish, you had not visited. Now, I will just give you a brief idea about the RMC plant. Now, at each and every RMC plant, there is one portion in which the concrete is prepared and there is one portion in which the laboratory is prepared, constructed. Now, in laboratory, before producing any batch of concrete, they will take the sample of that concrete and they will do the basic test. That is the slump cone test as well as the compressive strength test of that concrete. And if both tests will pass, then they will take that proportion of cement, sand and coarse aggregate and they will prepare the larger amount of concrete. But if it will fail, then they have to change the proportion and they have to again do the mix design of that concrete. Okay, very good Anil, very good beta. Okay, so in this way we will determine the compressive strength of concrete. Clear? Now here I had written that the size of cube is 15 into 15 into 15. Area of this specimen is 15 into 15, that is 225 centimeters square. Now if we have to find the compressive strength at 7 days, we have to just divide the load by the area so that we can get the compressive strength of that concrete. Clear? Now one question that will always asked by the student, that sir, in one day how much percent of strength is gained by the concrete? That is a very common question by every student, that sir, in one day or in 8 days or in 7 days or in 3 days or in 14 days, how much percent of strength is gained by the concrete? So I had prepared a table for you that in one day concrete attains 16% of the ultimate strength. Okay, it means that the ultimate strength of concrete, suppose that if the ultimate strength of concrete is 30 newton per mm square, so in one day it will obtain 0.16 into 13, it will be equals to what? It will be equals to 4.8 newton per mm square. That will be the strength in one day. Now in 3 days the concrete will attain 40% of the ultimate strength. Okay, similarly in 7 days 65% of the ultimate strength, in 14 days 90% of the ultimate strength. That's why we are just performing the test in 7 days, 14 days as well as in 28 days, because in 28 days 99% of the ultimate strength is already developed in that concrete. That's why we are always performing the test for 28 days of cured concrete. Okay, now just take the snapshot of this table because it will help you a lot during the testing also, and when you are just doing your work at the field, it will help you a lot. Okay, just take the snapshot of this. Clear? Clear? Fastly. Yes, done. Done. Okay. Now here I had written as uh, grade of concrete and the minimum compressive strength in 7 days and in 28 days. Now for M15 concrete, the 7 days compressive strength that will be achieved by that concrete is 10 Newton per mm square, and in 28 days almost 15 Newton per mm square. Similarly for M20, M25, M30, M35, M40 and M45 I had written here. Anil, I am teaching 6 subjects here. Okay, I am teaching 6 subjects here. And all the 6 subjects are very important. If you will just get all the 6 subjects of mine, then you will be able to score at least of 45 marks in your gate examination. At least 45 marks in your gate examination. Okay. If you will just uh, study all the 6 subjects which I had taught, then you will just able to get almost 45 marks in your gate examination. Okay, that is the weightage of all the 6 subjects which I had teached. Okay, clear? Okay, Anil. Now that is the strength test of concrete. Now definitely, Nishan, this is the subject in which there will be almost 3 subject that will comprises of the construction material and management. Now the overall CMM will comprises of materials which we are studying. We had already finished the steel portion. Now we are finishing the concrete portion. After finishing the concrete portion, we are going for the next part of CMM, that is known as CPM, that is construction planning and management, in which we are going to see the part, that is program evaluation and review technique. The next one is CPM. The subject name is also CPM and the chapter name is also CPM, that is critical path method. After that, we will see how can we crash the activity so that we can find the optimum duration and optimum cost of the project. Now, after performing the second set of the CMM, we are moving towards the third portion, that is known as estimation, costing and valuation, in which we are going to see the various types of estimates, as well as how can we perform the different types of estimate, how can we find the salvage value, scrap value. Okay, how can we determine the cost of building after 20 years, or if we want to just calculate the value of sinking fund, then how can we calculate that, as well as if we have to calculate the years purchase, then how can we calculate the years purchase. So they all are important from the gate point of view. Yes, definitely, Harish. Theory is also important from the gate point of view, because in gate 2020, they had asked 2 questions from the CMM portion from the cement only. From the cement only. Okay. So theoretical portion is also important as per the gate examination. Okay. Clear, Harish? Yes, Nishan. The 6th subject which I am teaching here is surveying. That is the first subject. CMM, which includes CPM, estimation, costing and valuation, as well as building material. They all comprises of the combined subject, that is known as CMM. After which environmental engineering, which is one of the most important subject as per the gate examination. After environmental engineering, there will be transportation engineering, which is again one of the most important subject. Again, survey, CMM, environmental engineering, transportation, structural analysis, and the last one is hydraulics. So these are the 6 subject. Okay, सर क्लास का टाइम चेंज हो गया क्या? नहीं राज, हो क्या रहा है ना कि जनरली टाइम हमारा 10 से 11 ही रहता है, पर पर एक्चुअली क्या होता है, कभी कभी मैं फ्री होता हूँ ना, तो मैं क्लास का टाइम 9:15 पे शिफ्ट करता हूँ. तो अगर आप एक बार 9:15 पे भी विजिट कर लें, तो एक बार आपको पता चल जाएगा कि अपना टाइम कब शिफ्ट हुआ है. ठीक है, तो जनरली मेरा टाइम 9:15 के आसपास रहता है, पर अभी तो कल का टाइम आपका 9:30 का है, वो तो एग्जैक्टली वही टाइम रहेगा 9:30 का. ठीक है, मे भी हो सकता है कि वो 9 बजे कल शुरू हो जाए क्लास, थोड़ा सा ध्यान रखिएगा. 9 बजे शुरू हो सकती है क्लास, तो एक बार 9 बजे विजिट कर लीजिएगा ईकेडा के चैनल पे यूट्यूब पे, जनरली 9:30 बजे होगा। और फिर हम लोग अभी मंडे ट्यूसडे वेडनेसडे वापस से 10 बजे मिलेंगे, और फिर थर्सडे से मे बी हमारा टाइम स्लाइटली अपर जाएगा 9:15 के आसपास। तो एक बार आप विजिट कर लीजिएगा तो आपको पता चल जाएगा, ठीक है। जनरली 9:15 पे मैं स्टार्ट करता ही हूँ क्लास को अपनी, किसी भी हाल में। आप लोग सब्सक्राइब कर लो ना हमारा चैनल, आप सब्सक्राइब कर लोगे तो आपको नोटिफिकेशन आना शुरू हो जाएंगे। सब्सक्राइब कर लो, आप लोग को देखो नीचे वहां पे सब्सक्राइब का बटन दिखाई दे रहा होगा, सब्सक्राइब कर लो, आपको नोटिफिकेशन आना शुरू हो जाएगा क्लास का। विच सब्जेक्ट यू विल टीच टुमारो, निशांत ने क्वेश्चन पूछा है मुझसे। तो हम लोग बेटा कल पढ़ने वाले हैं एनवायरमेंटल इंजीनियरिंग। टुमारो वी आर गोइंग टू स्टडी द एनवायरमेंटल इंजीनियरिंग एंड आई एम जस्ट गिविंग यू द टॉपिक ऑफ दैट। Tomorrow we are going to start with the chemical characteristic of water, in which we are going to determine the pH value as well as hardness of the water. That both topics are very important from the numerical point of view in the GATE examination. Okay. Anil, in GATE lectures, I had recorded the complete lecture in the English only. And if you want Hindi lectures also, so we will definitely release the Hindi sessions soon. But now onwards only, we have the English lectures only, so that everyone get that type of lecture, and it will just help all the students to prepare for the GATE examination from the home only, because at the corona time or at the COVID-19 there will be no classroom classes is going on, so we have to prepare at the home only, and for which we require the recorded lecture which is available on our site. Yes Nishant, you are from Nepal. Yes, yes Anil, it is available in English only, so you just get our in this chat box we had our link. You just get that link and you will just click on that link. You will get the complete description or the complete idea about what is the courses and what are the subjects which we had teach, or what are the subjects which is available in that course. So just go and visit there. Okay sir, if it is possible then please provide the link here. Okay, yes, if it is possible then just provide the link here so that all the students will get that link, so that it will be easy for them to just get the complete idea about. Okay राज, स्टील मैं नहीं ले रहा हूँ बेटा, पर वो भी हमारे इसमें पैरेलली चल रहा है। आप चाहें तो हमारी क्लास का नोटिफिकेशन कर लीजिए, इसको आप सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए, नोटिफिकेशन आना शुरू हो जाएगा और आपको स्टील का भी मिल जाएगा लेक्चर। स्टील भी चल रहा है हमारा। ओके, now on this positive note we are finishing our class today here only. We had completed all the strength vagera etc. Now in the next lecture on next Saturday we will start with the non-destructive testing of the concrete. Clear? Till then, goodbye everyone. Bye bye, good night, shubratri. Okay, just bye bye everyone. Thanks Anil. Okay, now we are ending this session. Okay, yes Raj, tomorrow you will just visit on our channel at 8:30. Okay, if it is possible then we will start with the 8:30, or we will definitely start at 9:30. Okay, we will not change the time so that you all will not get confused. Okay, we will start with our restricted times. Okay, Vinayak, very good beta, very good Vinayak. Now I am just stopping the schedule here. Okay, okay Raj, just get that time. Okay, it will be mentioned there that at which time we will start our lecture. Just visit on our channel 1 hour before the scheduled time. Okay, 1 hour before the scheduled time. If any changes will be there, then you will get the notification there only. Okay, Raj. Okay, now we are finishing that. Okay, Raj. Bye bye.